last year, I was down in the dumps because I think I may have told you some stories about my friend from childhood, Wildman, and he died, and his funeral was just before Christmas. And he was co-interviewing people with me on my true crime podcast. He was doing really well. He was thriving on YouTube, and then he got ill. He tried to get in the hospital. They said corona, stay at home, and he had breathing difficulties. And he went in, multiple organ failure, and he died within within a day of being admitted.
Yeah, that's insane.
I've got his picture up there right behind me, the big guy
In
right
the yellow
behind me
shirt,
there.
that's him?
That's him, yeah. He was the one who we went to America and he introduced me to all the mafia figures. That's how I got the criminal enterprise going because he's, a big tough guy versus me, just the skinny, nerdy business guy. So he opened that door into that world for me to set up the criminal enterprise. And when the SWAT team came, he was right there with me, protecting me, in the neo-Nazi jail. He's a very good person to get arrested with because he was running around that jail. When we got off the bus, there was like 13 co-defendants. We were arriving at Sheriff Joe Arpaio's Madison Street Jail horseshoe section. This is like a horseshoe formation of cells where you go in and you first get processed. And it's like Dante's Inferno in there. You are sardined into these cells. Everyone's just sat on the floor, squatting down. You try and like get in there. Maybe there's a little bit of room near the toilet, and the reason there's the room near the toilet is because there's piss all over there and it stinks of shit. So you sit down there, and then some big dude just gets on the toilet and takes a crap, and the whole cell, everyone's just like this, holding their noses, and they're all yelling, "Drop one, flush one! Drop one, flush one!" Because those toilets are really powerful, man. You press that button and it almost sucks your arse off. It's like a bidet spraying all this water right into your butt crack. So when you take a shit, the prison rule is drop one, flush one. So as soon as that log hits that fucking water, you're like, but anyway, in a cell, like that, as those logs are dropping, the whole cell just stinks. And because it's the newly arrested people, you've got people who've been in like fights with the cops, people who've been tasered and injured. You've got gangbangers from different street locations who are KOS on site. You've got homeless people. You got people just fucked up on alcohol, fucked up on drugs. A lot of people going through the shock of the newly incarcerated. It's just mayhem. When those gangbangers come in, who are like from rival neighborhoods, right away it just kicks off and there's blood splatter. Then the guards come in, they drag the assailants out, and if they're kicking off, they put them in this thing called a restraint chair, and it looks like a medieval torture device. It is a black chair tilted back, and they strap you into it, all of your limbs. And if you like are mouthing off or spitting, they put a spit hood on your head, and you see people in these chairs just rocking back and forth and like howling like cats and shit like that, like mental patients. So anyway, this is the absolute bedlam we arrived at shortly after we were all SWAT team raided, May 16th, 2002. I said I had about 200 people working for me on one of the previous interviews I did with you. And they started to arrest those people in groups. So they had the continuous criminal enterprise, the crime family. They had like a pecking order. Now, I was at the top. Wild Woman was number 2, Wild Man's girlfriend, and Wild Man was number 3. So they had Wild Woman above Wild Man. She was as tough as he was, man. If some people were more scared of her than him, seriously, their relationship, it's terrible that domestic violence exists in the world, but their relationship was based on domestic violence. I saw them fighting sometimes. He'd hit her, she'd grab a knife, stab him in the belly. Sometimes they'd both be in hospital, but they were like cave people. I was saying, you guys are going to kill each other one of these days. And then the very next day, after having these fights, they'd be like, love you, love you. And it was all about the makeup sex, completely off the scale. So, Wild Woman, I'm setting the scene for what happens still when we get out of this van. Wild Woman is from Liverpool. The accent is so thick in Liverpool. They said that if it had gone to trial in Arizona, they would have had to get her an interpreter. So I'll give you an example. Yala, giz a ciggy. Have you any idea what that means?
No.
Yala, giz a ciggy.
What does that mean? What are you
That
saying?
means, here you are, my lad. Give me a cigarette. La is like mate. So she's like, yeah, la, giz a ciggy. So they're gonna anyway. She was totally battle hardened, man. She was a big woman at one point in time, but she'd been hammering the crystal meth, and she was only tiny, but she was as tough as fuck. I mean, I'll tell you a story in a minute about what happened to the women when they actually got in there. So we're all getting out of this van. I told you previously about the SWAT team raid. What happened next was they took us all to Tempe police station. They built this outdoor processing center specifically for me and my co-defendants. So we're all getting processed at this outdoor processing center. Then they start filtering us over to Tempe jail. In Tempe jail, I'm realizing the gravity of the situation because I'm thinking, right, they've raided my house. I quit trafficking a year ago. There's no drugs. What can they do? Maybe they can release me. But as more people started to show up at the jail, I'll give you another example. One of my co-defendants, Cody Bates, mentioned previously that he's no longer with us. He was ended up in a Scientologist rehab where they put him on antidepressants, which had a side effect of killing yourself, and he killed himself. It's documented. The lawsuit is online if people want to look that up. Cody
Scientologist
Bates.
Rehab?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know, but it's probably Arizona or California, I imagine. So Cody Bates shows up. Cody Bates was my right-hand man in charge of sensible things because he never got high. But after we all got arrested, he got so depressed, he went straight to heroin. Hence, he ended up in the rehab where he hung himself. So Cody Bates shows up, and this other guy shows up. I'll just call him the DJ. And we're sharing our arrest stories. So I tell them, bam, 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 bam. Door flies off the hinges. SWAT team raid. Cody Bates is driving along the freeway. And he looks up in the morning and sees a helicopter. And he thinks, this is a bit strange. Everywhere I'm going, there seems to be a helicopter. It's like that scene in Goodfellas. In the afternoon, he's looking up. And lo and behold, he's been driving. He's scared to go anywhere. He's just driving. He doesn't want to stop. So he's driving to Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa, going up and down these freeways. Afternoon, lo and behold, helicopter. Next thing, he sees like a motorcade of police cars and police motorbikes. And they all just he's got motorbikes all around him, cars, and they just take him off the road. That's how he got busted. Now, the DJ, it was his first day at his brand new job as a fundraiser for the Republican Party. So he shows up and they come in his workplace and arrest him. So I imagine that was the end of that. All right, so all day long we are just like sharing stories at the Tempe jail, and then there comes a point in time where the van comes to take us to Sheriff Joe Arpaio's Horseshoe. And I'd heard stories about the Horseshoe from Wildman previously because he'd been deported multiple times. He was a menace to society, and it would always end up with him in the Horseshoe. And it's a horseshoe formation. You go in, you go through the cells. You don't know whether it's night or day because it's underground, but the walls do heat up, so you can detect, when it's midday. And you come out at the very end, and they give you a classification: minimum, medium, max security. Give you black and white stripes, and you get on your way. So I knew some stories about the Horseshoe. Wildman said last time he was in, they wouldn't give them his name. He was in there for days, and you can't sleep because you're so sardined into those cells. So we get in the van, and I finally see Wildman for the first time since my arrest. And he said that when he was in the Tempe jail, they were trying to interview my girlfriend, Claudia, and he was walking past, and he heard him say, "These are very serious charges you're facing. You need to tell us about Attwood." And he somehow he broke free of the policeman that was taking him to wherever he was taken from. Managed to stick his head in the room where Claudia was getting interrogated, and goes, "Serious fucking charges, my fucking ass. Don't listen to these daft pig bastards, Claudia." And then he just goes, and he had this big fuck off Vikings beard, and he's been up for days on smoking crack and crystal meth, and he just looks like an absolute maniac. So we're in the van sharing our arrest stories and speaking to the females now, because the females are with us. First group was about 13 co-defendants, about half female. So when we get to the Madison Street jail, there's like a ladder, steps coming out the van, and the transportation officers tell the women to get out first. Now there's a huge line of people waiting to go into the jail. These are all like the new arrestees, like I described earlier. People, have just been in altercations with the police, people who are drunk, people who are high, people who've been tasered, people who've got injuries. And as they see these women coming off the van, this big line of men turns around and starts heckling the women. And I can't remember specifically what they were saying, but it was of a sexual nature. So the women, wild woman who's very tough was just looking at these guys, like assessing the situation. But the other women looked like they were feeling really insulted and disrespected. So then the men start to get out of the van, and the guards just yelling at everybody to get down these steps very quickly. So Wild Man just stops on the top step, and the cops tell him to get down. He just doesn't move, and he raises his Vikings beard, and he opens his eyes really wide, and he looks at all of the men heckling the women, and he goes, "Hey, there's my fucking woman. I'll have fucking any of you guys when we get inside there in a couple of minutes, because that's where we're all fucking going. If you guys don't shut the fuck up right now, you're going to see what's going to happen to you." And they all just shut the fuck up right away.
Holy shit.
He was a good man to get arrested with. Yeah, he was 28 stone by the end of it. And 1 stone is 14 pounds, I believe.
What did you say it was? 28 stone?
That was his weight. Let me just tell you, 14 times 28. So he was 400 pounds in weight and 6'2".
Oh my God.
And his fists were twice the size of mine. And it was just all human teeth marks all the way along them. Now, it might be an interesting subject to go. It might be Sammy DeVol, because he's on YouTube now, and anything with him on it is going viral.
What was the story behind all that?
Let's get into that. Let me just tell you one more thing. So we had a guy working for us called, let's say, Handsome Mark, and he started working for the Gravano enterprise. So he was playing both sides, and one of our customers gave Handsome Mark money for 1,000 ecstasy, but Handsome Mark went and got it off the Gravano enterprise instead of us. Not only that, he was pulled over by the feds, and the pills were confiscated. So then the customer comes to us. Well, she went to Wildman first. I hadn't authorized what he'd done. He just went and did it himself. So she goes to Wildman, says, "Look, just gave one of your guys 10,000+. He's saying that he got pulled over. There's no pills. There's nothing he can do about it." So Wildman went and paid him a visit. And Wildman just he only needs to punch someone once, and he would usually knock him out. So in this case, he punched the guy, and it ended up with the guy's tooth stuck in between 2 of his knuckles. So by the time I get there, he's explaining, this guy was fucking going through Sammy the Bull. This is what happens to people who go through Sammy the Bull. He's showing me his damaged fist.
Was the tooth still like dangling out of his flesh?
It wasn't still dangling, but his knuckles were all fucked up.
Oh my god!
Yeah. By the time I got up there, it was later.